Welcome to NOU Scholars Channel. Academic excellence is our priority. A study guide for the distance learner. Unit 2, Characteristics of Open and Distance Learning, OTL. Good day, everyone. In our previous units, we explored the evolution of open and distance learning, from correspondence education to what we now have as a technology-driven system. Today, we are going to examine what makes this system unique. In other words, what exactly differentiates open and distance learning from the conventional face-to-face university system. In Nigeria, institutions like National Open University of Nigeria clearly demonstrate how education has moved beyond physical classroom into flexible and accessible formats. Learning outcomes. By the end of this session, you should be able to identify the key characteristics of open and distance learning, explain each of these characteristics clearly, compare ODL with the conventional system, evaluate the ideas of openness in education. As we proceed, I want you to keep thinking about this question. Why are many Nigerians today choosing ODL over traditional universities? All right, let's delve into the main discussion. The characteristics of open and distance learning. Let me start with one of the most important features: separation of teacher and learner. In open and distance learning, the teacher and the learner are separated by 1. Place and 2. Time. This means that unlike conventional universities, you don't need to be physically present in the same classroom with your lecturer. For example, a student studying with National Open University of Nigeria in Kano may never meet their lecturer who is based in Abuja throughout the entire program. Also, learning is not fixed to a particular time. One student may study at night while another studies early in the morning, depending on the time that suits the student. So learning becomes personalized. This system is very suitable for working class individuals, parents, and entrepreneurs. Here is another feature of open and distance learning: openness. One of the keywords in open and distance learning is openness. Let's break this into 3 parts. The first part is openness to people. This means more people have access to education. Entry requirements may be relaxed compared to conventional universities. In Nigeria, this is important because many people who could not secure admission through traditional routes may now have another opportunity. The second is openness to place. Learning is no longer restricted to the classroom. You can study at home, in your office, even inside a bus using your phone. So learning happens anywhere. The third part is openness to ideas. Educational materials are shared freely. These include open educational resources, online courses. Think of it like this: just as software can be open source, education is also becoming open and shareable. Another important feature of open and distance learning is flexibility. Let me explain this in 3 dimensions. We have flexibility in time. You can study at your own convenient time. For example, a banker in Lagos may also have time to study at night. Flexibility in place. You can learn from anywhere, even if your job transfers you to another state. This is very common in Nigeria with NYSC members and civil servants. So you can study any place you find yourself. We have flexibility in pace. You control how fast or slow you complete your program. You can take fewer courses, extend your study duration if needed. So this is very important in Nigeria, where many students combine work, family, and education at the same time. Another key feature of open and distance learning is accessibility. Open and distance learning makes education available to people who were previously excluded. This includes prison inmates, women in Buddha, persons with disabilities. For instance, NOU has study centers in Nigeria prison, and some inmates have successfully graduated. This promotes educational equality and inclusion. Another key and very important feature of open and distance learning is affordability. Now, let's talk about cost. Open and distance learning is generally more affordable because fees can be paid in installments. Students can register fewer courses per semester. Also, unlike conventional system, there are no hidden charges. Lecturers do not sell course materials to students. However, some students may still incur transport costs to study center though, but even at then, it is not as is incurred while studying in a conventional university. The sixth important feature of open and distance learning is that it is technology driven. Open and distance learning is heavily supported by technology. We are talking about e-learning, mobile learning, that is using your smartphone, and online communication platforms wherein students interact through emails, online forums, and learning portals. Now, in Nigeria, we still face challenges like poor internet and electricity, but mobile technology is helping to bridge that gap. The seventh is the use of mixed media courseware. Instruction is delivered using different media such as printed materials, audio and video, radio and television, and online platforms. For example, National Open University of Nigeria combines printed course modules with online resources. This ensures that learning continues even in areas with limited internet access. The number 8 is interactivity. You might ask, if students and teachers are far apart, how do they interact? That is where interactivity comes in. There are 4 types. The first is learner to content. Student interacts with materials like textbooks and videos. The number 2 is that learner to instructor. Students communicate with lecturers through emails or online platforms designed to support such interactions. We also have learner to learner. Students interact with one another We have a students forum where you place question, another who understands that question will reply. So students share ideas on this learner forum or group forums where the students are added. In Nigeria, WhatsApp groups are a very common example. So people form WhatsApp groups where they share ideas. We also have learner to technology. Student interacts with devices like phones and computers. Technology becomes the bridge between the learner and the learning process. Number 9 is learner-centeredness. ODL is learner-centered. This means the learner is the focus. The learner controls the learning process, unlike traditional classroom where the lecturer dominates. Students decide when to learn. Students actively engage with content. So this promotes independent thinking and responsibility. In conclusion, open and distance learning is characterized by flexibility, accessibility, use of technology, learner independence. I want you to understand that ODL is not just an alternative. It is becoming the future of education, especially in countries like Nigeria. Before we bring this discussion to an end, think about this. If Nigeria improves its electricity and internet infrastructure, do you think open and distance learning could replace conventional universities? Kindly leave a comment at the comment section. Thanks for studying with us on NOUN Scholars channel.